There you go, just a quick vid on my Solo Rex. It come in condition looking like that. This is Solo 630. It looked like that. With the clean up, all I've done to this is cleaned it up. I pulled the carb apart, the bottom half of it. The diaphragm was hard as cardboard. Fixed that all up. New couple of gaskets, all in the bottom end of the carb. The bar was really rusted. I thought about keeping it, but nah. So I polished it up, tried to keep as much of the original paint as I could. The handle is in really good condition. You can still see it's a little bit blue. I don't know if the cameras, you can see that against that. It's a little bit blue still, all in good nick. But when I first got it and cleaned it up, I put petrol in the tank and it just leaked out everywhere. So this bash plate was really dented in here, so I don't know if that contributed to the petrol tank's cracked. Underneath, the bash tank was bashed up pretty bad. When I pulled that all out, I straightened it all up and pulled the tank out. Now, what I did with the tank is, probably a lot of people would think of just going to Bunnings and getting some glue or some sort and gluing it all up, but more permanent fix is when I pulled the tank out, is your $10 soldering iron from Bunnings. The tip in them's copper, so I just hammered it to that sort of shape. Your tank's out, you clean it and flush it out naturally, and then with your soldering iron, either side there was a crack here. So all I did was heat this up and then scoop a little bit that way and a little bit that way. Swirled it, worked it in. It cracked up here. It was cracked around the back and here. Moldable spots underneath here. Yeah, but that's a little trick. Don't have to go out and rush, and silicons and glues and all that is just a temporary fix. So after doing all of that, I pressurised it only a little bit, not too much. Soapy water around it. It holds pressure. It doesn't leak. And in it back went. And with the carb kit and new fuel tank, it's a survivor. So yeah, you can always solder things up. This is a washer bottle off a little project car that I'm doing. This is just another little tip as well. You can see this is off an early 80s car. It's probably the same plastic. Now you can always use something like this, cut strips out of it, and add to your solder. So when you're soldering, you melt your strips in, just like silver soldering, and add to the plastic. This is what you can look out for. You can't use things like cable ties because that's nylon, and you think whippersnipper wire, that's nylon as well. However, see that PP? That's polypropylene. Yeah. Now you can cut, that's out of this cover itself. You can weld anything that says PP or 05 on it, will melt together. Using your solder iron. So again, that's a more permanent fix and glue. Here's a little mixing bottle that comes out of the chainsaw that I gave Mr. Hanger 1. But you'll see that it is probably polyethylene, I'm guessing. I'm looking for something. Bear with me. Pretty sure it's poly. Oh yeah, there. So that's HDPE. High density polyethylene. So you can weld anything you can cut that up and weld anything with polyethylene. That's like 2 litre milk bottles, orange juice bottles. You can, if this was your favourite mixing thing and it cracked, just go get your milk bottle, make sure it's polyethylene, and you can weld a crack in that and don't have to go and buy a new one. Anyway, that's enough rambling. The next project is a Solo 630. The chain was buggered, it was off it and rusted. Hopefully the bar's all nice and clean and I can dress. Well, I don't know if I can dress that up, but we'll have a go. It'll only be a display saw anyway. It's got spark and compression, no fuel. So carb or fuel lines. Yeah, anyway, catch us later. See ya.